So there was another voice we heard over there. It's Enforcer.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Intimidator. But
Intimidator.
The Intimidator.
She's like, the Intimidator.
She is intimidating.
Yes, because everyone you hear that goes, the Intimidator, just sounds like intimidating.
I'm scared right now, so.
I love how like soft she sound, and we all know that that's not normally how she speaks.
Yeah, and I boosted that up a ton.
Yeah.
When I was doing the audio editing, like our mics are normally like at negative 30 dBs before the edit. Hers is like at negative 60. And I was just
boy.
oh, okay. And boost. But
More power.
Yeah, but that was her first episode too, so
yeah, that's
I do give her props. Jumping in like
I
Paul.
don't.
You don't? Why not?
I
Just-
do.
Yeah, she made your brain work. She made my brain work too. It's okay.
Do you not have these conversations with her on a normal basis on weird things?
I mean, I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about Josh, but I do.
Apparently, husband number 2 probably has more intimate conversations than I do than the actual fiance.
That's actually kind of creepy. But do I but do I believe it? Yes. You know what else is crazy, Aaron?
Freaking crippling student loans.
Well,
Dun, 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 dun.
no, but something else is crazy too.
Here's Aaron's word of the week.
Don't enjoy that.
Sorry, I was trying to do a horrible voiceover with it.
All of us except Aaron were kind of popping our heads.
No.
So, Aaron, your word this week is a
No.
fun, odd word. No. It's collywobbles.
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 You have had collywobbles before.
I've had the collywobbles before.
Yeah.
Honestly, that almost sounds like something you would eat.
See,
That-
yeah.
Or it also
I
fits
think
in along like stomach or sickness.
Yeah.
It is derived from the Latin phrase cholera morbus.
Galala morbis.
What?
It's usually used by older people, obviously.
Wait, used by.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Do we want to know what this is?
So is collywobbles something that I would use or I had?
It's a word. You
I know it's a word.
I know
You
you've had collywobbles before.
I've had collywobbles.
But it's something
Yeah.
that old people use.
Well, like they use that word, you know.
Collywobbles.
I'm not saying that they use it to like brush their teeth or anything. I'm saying that's a word they might use to describe something. They might say, I got the collywobbles today.
Sir, what is the spelling of collywobbles?
COLLYWOBBLES.
You get that? See, because at first I'm thinking I'm thinking cauliflower.
Okay.
The whole wobbles part. I
I
don't want to eat wobbling cauliflower.
Webbles.
Well, think about the Latin phrase cholera morbus.
What?
What does that sound like? Cholera morbus.
Cholera morbus.
Yep, that's a Latin. That's derived from that Latin
Makes me
phrase.
think of a Dark Souls boss.
Of course, Dark Souls is on your brain. When is it not on your brain?
Hey, it hasn't been for a while.
Well, that's impressive. Anyways, do you have a guess?
Collywobbles.
Just take a guess. Like I said, it's something you've. I'll narrow it down even.
See when you okay.
Medical.
So is it?
Is this something you stick inside you?
No.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, you didn't get into an accident. I think they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did do some sticking in you.
Collywobbles. Okay, now I got a few things on my mind.
Okay, what's the first one?
When you had them, I knew it couldn't be this, but I was thinking collywobbles as like love handles. As I walk around, they just wobble around. That was my first thought.
That's actually a good. That's actually a good one.
Thanks. But when I had them,
Yeah.
collywobbles.
This isn't something you have all the time,
No.
and if you do, you might want to get checked out for cancer.
A lump?
That's I was
Okay, so
I was
what
thinking like a swelling
A swelling?
in an area or like a I don't know,
Okay,
bulge.
so that's your answer.
Yeah.
It's okay. So collywobbles is a weird feeling in your stomach or an overall bellyache, a stomach ache.
Oh, I get that after Taco Bell.
That's what I said. You get it once in a while.
Okay. Got the good old collywobbles.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
So and I was trying to give you a hint. So cholera morbus, right?
Yeah.
Cholera the disease, cholera, where it's
Oh.
yeah. So that's where this collywobbles comes from.
Collywobbles. You know what? I like that word. I'm going to keep that one in my dictionary.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So
it's easy to remember. Collywobbles.
And what's funny is, so at the end of this definition, it says, many don't realize the dark background of this word, much like the origins of Ring Around the Rosie. And I don't know what that means.
What?
So we will have to look at that for a later time, but not right now. So, all right. So let's go ahead and, how much schooling do you have outside of high school, beyond high school? What the heck was that?
This
Horrible
is drum roll for
Thank
me.
you.
That was horrible.
To announce that I have done
Nothing with my life.
Wow.
Hey, I'm a Velpert. That's something.
Yeah, that is something. Look at Mr. Look
I
at
make
me, all high and mighty.
noises.
Anyways, Johnson, outside
About
of,
a year and a half.
A year and
and
a
a
half.
half to 2 years.
of college, of undergrad work.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fair. It's fair enough. And Mr. Brewer,
I
You
have an
have
associate's
yeah.
degree.
you have an associate's,
I have associates.
and you got that in
3 years.
3 years.
Well, it went 3 years. It would have been done in 2 years, no biggie.
Yeah.
But I missed the sign up time for classes.
No, that's
so
fine.
I just did gen ed. So realistically, how I would look at it is, I just have an associate's degree because I took all the courses required.
Well,
to
no,
graduate
I'm
with that.
just asking.
You took 3 years
Well,
to do it. Gosh,
okay.
dang it.
That's not as bad as me.
So you're doing better than me. So
I say
fine.
I got my undergrad degree in 6.5 years. So, so I had my bachelor's, but it took me 6.5. So, getting your associates in 3.
I mean, that's. I don't see that being an issue for people, especially if they're working while they're going to school. If you can knock out the gen eds in your first year, 2 years, then it makes your core classes a whole lot easier to handle. So I can definitely see somebody going that route. So that's where I would kind of just narrow it down to. Aaron's got no degree. I have an associate's, and Paul has a bachelor's.
But yet he can still put on his applications to jobs that says he has some college but
yes.
no degree.
And he can use those classes to help cancel out any other classes.
Well, even beyond that, just doing some reading, even 1 year of schooling, he'll make about 25% more than someone who just has a high school diploma in his lifetime.
Interesting.
So every year of schooling that you have increases the amount of money that you will make in your lifetime, even if you don't get that degree.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So,
But
well, I ask all this because today we're talking about education, and do you really need a 4-year degree or not?
What?
Yeah.
Aaron,
What?
you don't need to go to school for 4 years.
Well, it depends on what you're going for, but yeah.
Yes.
No, it does.
And that's why I wanted to know, because I knew what Aaron had, but I wasn't 100% what Josh had until he came in to the room. I was like, I know he has some stuff. And
Aaron's getting all giggly over here.
Aaron's acting like a little schoolgirl. So
It's funny.
what's going on?
As we're talking about school, I don't know if they care if I mention their name. Our normal Wednesday night friends that we go out with.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they'd be ecstatic if you mentioned their names.
Yeah. Robin.
I say, if anything, when we
Just
ask.
beep it out.
Yeah.
Their first names are fine.
So there's that whole college thing
Yeah.
That was last night.
yesterday.
And how'd that go?
I had great.
You didn't go, did you?
No. I thought it was at 5 or 5:30
Okay.
to 7.
Okay.
And when I hear tour, I'm expecting because when I went to my last tour at a Gateway in Racine,
Okay.
I mean it was a whole set out thing. Like you were with a group going through everything on this tour. So that's what I was expecting that to be. And then
Yeah.
Robin sent me a message. She's like, it's 4 to 7. I was like, well, I'm not going to be, I'll be just getting out of work close to that. And I ain't trying, I didn't want to go to that after that nasty, hot, sweaty day in work. But then, so I was like, well, shoot. Okay. And then I have Bible studies
Yeah.
on Tuesday nights now at 7. So I was like, well, first I'll be late and then I'm going to have to leave early. So I was like, yeah, I didn't go.
So if we see her tonight, she's going to be like, Aaron Johnson.
Yeah, because then I had sent her that. I was like, well, yeah, I told her when I was just getting home from work, and then that I thought I said I had some study at 7. I don't know. I might have forgot about that, but anywho,
Okay.
She's like, yeah. And she's like, no, it was just a walk-in thing from 4 to 7.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a set. I was like, oh. Then I reacted with a sad face. I left it at that.
That's a whole other news article that I read today, where it said that 73% of people that they surveyed are more willing to express emotions through emoticons, aka emojis, than on a phone call. So they will.
I don't have her number.
Well, I'm saying, but I just find it funny that you're like, you did the sad face thing. And that study came out today where they're like, most Americans are willing to do emotions through emojis and not actual words. And I was like,
that is crazy.
Okay, weird. So, all right, cool. So you didn't go to your college tour,
nope.
Potentially. Yeah, so I have my 4-year degree, which, in all honesty, if I had to do it over again,
you wouldn't do.
I would not do. I took on a ton of student loan debt. Yes, the job I have now, I'm making bank. That's the only way to put it. That's the only way to put it. I'm not going to get my actual figure out there, but
I mean, you're making a solid amount.
That my figures.
Yeah, but don't say it.
Yeah, don't say it.
No, but I mean, if you're really going to be making bank, I mean, you'll be like Bill Gates, where it's like you can own banks.
Well, yeah, but notice Bill Gates and Steve Jobs.
I didn't notice. I don't know what's up with them.
Well, Jobs is dead, but
well, yes, it's true. Gosh dang it!
But I mean, they're college dropouts and that.
That I did not know.
Yeah, so they didn't even complete their full degrees. They came up with these ideas and they're
made fat figures.
Oh yeah,
there's a plenty of people are out there who have not completed college and are making ridiculously amount of money.
Well, it's funny to see how. I mean, there's the YouTubers, which I know that whole payment thing can be changing.
That's just
what
what nothing. The whole YouTube thing was just like that's a weird thing that no one I don't think saw coming, and certain people took advantage of it.
Right? And, absolutely.
And hey, kudos to them for taking advantage.
Yeah, good on them for getting that.
Because woohoo, yay! But yeah, if I had to do it all over again, I would not take on that debt. That debt. Yeah. I'm still paying off student loans.
So this is how many years after?
I graduated 2007. So this is 12 years after, and I was paying off loans before I graduated. So I was already paying stuff into the loans before I graduated. I've been continuing to pay. I've broken my how much I owe per month way down, but I still owe a couple hundred every month. Yay.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No, because that cuts into, my paycheck, which, taxes already do enough of that, and no thank you. So. But what was funny, I was reading the statistics. So in the 70s, having a 4-year degree typically meant you made about 50% more than your non-degreed coworkers, But nowadays, they say that's up to 73% more than your non-coworkers. Than your non-degreed coworkers.
Yeah.
Your coworkers who only have a high school diploma. That's
a huge difference.
That is a significant difference. But there's one thing that they don't talk about in that number. So let's say you go to a trade school, right? Trade school is maybe a year to 2 years. Guess what? You're going to start making decent amount of money, good money, years before someone with a 4-year degree. And you're not going to have too much loan debt.
Right.
Your debt is going to be very low. Or if you're going into a trade that requires an apprenticeship, guess what? You get paid while you're being an apprentice. So you get paid to learn.
Yeah, a guy was telling me about that at church Sunday morning. Because I'm pretty sure he did an apprentice. Oh no. Or wow, I wish I could remember all this now. My friend Lucas, who's my age,
yep,
I believe is currently in an apprenticeship. And the guy we were talking to, he was just saying you'll make money while going to school to help,
but
get you out of debt if you can.
But you're also learning your trade at the same time.
Yeah. So then you're
from a master.
Yeah. So then that'll help you work your way up, hopefully better.
Yeah.
As long as you do well.
You can. And I see like people who go into like trade schools and that the stuff they learn is a lot more relevant than what I learned in college.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't remember 99% of what I learned in college.
And that's the one thing I've always looked at when it comes to a 4-year degree. And when I was trying to decide what I wanted to do, after college, Mike Rowe, I
don't know who that is.
Main star of Dirty Jobs.
Oh,
He always argued because a lot of the stuff he went to, these people didn't have degrees. They were grunts. They're the blue collar workers of America. And some of these guys were making fantastic dollars without going to school. So he had become completely convinced that you do not need a 4-year degree to get somewhere in life. And one thing I've noticed, you take a lot of gen ed classes. Now, I understand that a 4-year degree college is going to make you a really well-rounded person.
Does it though?
That's their goal.
That's their goal. That's their goal. But okay, so this was an article from the New York Times. Okay, it's because you brought this up that I'm specifically bringing this up here. So this whole concept of making you well-rounded, what they found is that over the past since 1992, okay, 40% of nation's college graduates scored a proficient level at complex English texts. So that's where they could read it, understand it, draw these complicated inferences from it. Okay. By 2003, so that's only 11 years, that dropped from 40% to 31%. Okay. So, we're dropping the number of college graduates who show these skills. And they're showing that as the years go on, that number is continuously dropping.
Huh.
So you have these college graduates, 4-year degrees, and they can't even read a list and infer data from that list.
Yeah, that's pretty disturbing.
Yep. So they said that more than 800,000 Americans demonstrated below basic literacy. And these are college graduates, meaning that they could not perform more than the simplest skills like locating easily identifiable information in sort prose list documents. And another thing is they did where they took some college freshmen, some college seniors, first year versus fourth year, right? Because how you said they're supposed to be more rounded for real life and that. They did a study on some of these and that they found that the first year and fourth year performed exactly the same on how they thought about things and answered things.
But you're paying for all these extra gen ed classes
that you're not going to use.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, what was it? This is no issue with Gateway or anything, but I went to Gateway and I got, associate's degree in automotive technician. My core classes, my actual shop classes, told me the math I was going to need to use. Okay, and I'm not actually working in that field. I'm working right next to it, literally. I'm watching guys work. For those who don't know, I'm behind the parts counter of a dealership. All that schooling did help me because it helped me understand more about the cars. How I, worked on them at school, so I knew. Anyways, it benefited my job that I have now. Yeah, I mean everything that I was going to need, and as I watch these guys hardly ever interact with customers. Why would they need speech class? These guys don't, study people's minds. Why would they need sociology, psychology classes? I mean, if anything, they are literally on a computer typing up what they want me to order.
Yeah.
That, and they're just taking measurements on stuff. Imagine it with measurements in the computer. So all these extra gen ed classes that I was taking really wouldn't have helped me at all. If anything, one of the English classes would have helped me build a resume and stuff like that. So that I understand. But as now that I'm looking towards to being an A&P tech, which is an airframe power plant technician, there's just looking at it through MATC, there's only one gen ed class, and it's called workplace communication. That's the only gen ed class. Everything else is core classes. And for what's only going to cost me a little bit less than $20,000, I can go from that, jump into the workforce, and as of right now, according to 2015, the median pay salary was about $58,000.
Right.
Okay. And that has a projected growth. I'm trying to find the projected growth on that, but there is a gap.
The projected growth from tradeschools.net for like aviation mechanic and that is 6% over the next couple of years.
So, but there is a bigger gap in the workforce because, see, that's the one thing that is that I've seen as a challenge. So repair still has to predominantly be done by humans. Coding is predominantly done by machines.
I say create good enough AI, but that's a whole other topic.
So we need to have Andy up in here.
Oh, yes.
Well,
if we start talking aviation.
Anything can be repaired via AI, but let's go on. Go on with your thing that you're talking about.
But, okay. Yeah.
No, I was just saying.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, if I want to do something, show me exactly what I need to do. I'll pay you to show me exactly what I need to do to get me out in the workplace working. I've never really wanted to go to school for 4 years to pay for all these extra classes. I just want to know what I need to know and get out there. That's how my mindset has always been about it. We have society telling kids that they need to go into STEM programs.
What? I've
STEM.
never heard of it.
Science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
Oh.
Those are all predominantly 4-year degrees. Like you, Paul, you load up with a lot of debt. Now, granted, you're going to come out and you can make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. I will be ahead. But it's going to take me time to get ahead. That's the thing. Whereas someone coming at it directly from, a 1-year degree, a certificate to work on cars, or whatnot, they're going to be able to earn money sooner than I am. So initially, while they're younger, they'll have more money to utilize, but long run, theoretically, and I say theoretically because the economy could change at any point in time. So especially with the trades, I was reading that right now, the majority of the people who are in the trades, so like airplane mechanics, what you're going into, Josh, it says they're disproportionately older and
so they're all going to
be retiring soon.
And then we're going to need a bunch of people to get in there.
And that's exactly the same scenario right now with pilots too. They've raised the retirement age. They're enlarging their paychecks to try to get them to stay in longer because there's not enough civilian coming in to fill in.
That's just gonna. I can just imagine this. They're doing all this drone stuff, and eventually you'll just have this little 19-year-old flying your plane for you as a drone pilot.
Well, see, that's the other thing. The other issue that they're having is these big airline companies. You're supposed to have 1,500 hours underneath your belt before you fly some of these big planes, and some of these airline companies are putting these guys up there with half the time. They're not supposed to.
Scary.
So yeah,
I'm sure if they're caught, they're fine pretty well. But
I can see a little kid flying a massive jet. I mean, would they have to be in the plane flying it, or could they be controlling it?
Well, how's the military control drones now? They're at a base somewhere
in Kansas.
So let's say that's happening. I could see a little kid be like, "Oh, let's see how this baby does underwater."
Obviously, you'd have to have them trained and certified to do it, but have one guy sit there and does like 5 flights a day.
Oh my goodness!
You don't have to fly him around everywhere. You just have the stewardesses on board, and I could see that as our future out in the future.
I could see that
them moving to drone flying.
I don't think I would get into an airplane if it's controlled by somebody on the ground.
Okay. What about AI flying?
I don't think I can get an airplane doing that too.
Because
there's no way.
Because we're going to be moving towards that whole autonomous driving where the computer takes over on the driving. That's moving. That's going. That's happening. Eventually, they're going to be like, well, let's do this for flying too.
It's going to take planes a whole lot longer before.
Really? You think so?
Yes.
Because they already got the radar. They already have the abilities through current computer technology to identify the various items in the radars. So image recognition, they're able to do math really quickly so they can calculate how fast they need to do things.
Mm-hmm. But the issue that you have with that is planes are already extremely expensive. So airline companies are going to want to turn around after they bought a plane and retrofit it with another $100 to $200, maybe $1 million worth of upgrades when there's maintenance they also already have to worry about.
But then they don't have to worry about paying employees and salaries.
Oh, they still have to pay tax to inspect it and everything like that.
Yeah, but they still have to pay for all the pilot salaries and retirements and all that. But
this one,
that's
AI.
Yeah, but that's a whole other conversation.
As of right now,
that's a whole other conversation.
So we need Andy.
Let's get back to topic. Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
And other pilot-y people.
Yeah, so get back to topic at hand.
But
yes,
I don't know. I do feel Josh as like for me, like if I were to go to school, I'd want to learn about one thing and put all of myself into learning that one thing so I can do that one thing really well.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm curious as what if that's how it was done, and then they didn't, like, schools didn't teach you the other, like, Gen Ed kind of stuff. Well, I wonder what the difference would be.
It wouldn't be 4 years, which would have been wonderful. Because then I would,
school-wise, learning. I'm just saying, like, okay, let's see. I mean, say I didn't need to learn. If I go for something and I don't need English, so I don't take English
like
classes.
Josh's example, right? With the program he's looking at, you said what? It's just business communication, business writing. Josh, is that what you said?
It was the
workplace writing, something like that.
Workplace communication.
Workplace communication. So if that's your only English class you need, because that's the only thing you need to do is learn how to write those form letters to other people in the company and that.
Now,
how to do your email signature, etc.
Now, somebody could go mathematics too, but in the program, the mathematics for airplane mechanics, it's actually considered a core class because they are teaching you the type of math you would use when it comes to working on airframes.
Right. So it's a generic, it's core to your thing there.
Yeah.
And that would reduce cost, I would assume, but they're going to want to keep you in school as long as possible because
they make
money. Yep.
So now, I mean, what? I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
How much does the average bachelor's degree in the United States cost?
Oh,
I don't know. I'm going to take a shot at it.
Take a shot.
$120,000.
Johnson, what's your guess?
Is that including tuition fees and housing, boarding? Okay.
So a 4-year bachelor's degree, what's the average cost?
So, as like if I were to go to Parkside.
Well, they're just saying average across the U.S.
Yeah. So you got your really expensive schools, you got your real cheap schools.
Yes. So
I'm gonna bring that up. I'm gonna say $180,000.
Okay. What are you saying, Johnson?
Yeah, I was about to do 175.
Okay.
150, 175.
Your first guess was close. $127,000. Okay.
Really?
Yep.
That doesn't seem as much as I would have thought. Well,
for 4 years, that's over $25,000 a year.
No, yeah. I'm trying to think of like how many. I guess there's a lot more smaller schools than there are.
Yeah.
Freaking Harvards and private schools and stuff. But
of all the students that attend, how many of them take out loans? Percentage.
90? I don't know.
Josh, you got a guess on that one? What's the percentage of students
80?
that go to bachelor's degree that take out loans to pay for school?
What would you say?
I don't know.
You said
80 to 90.
Yeah.
I'd say about 70%.
70%, right. On the dot.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, and of those students, what percentage have student loans by the time they graduate that are over $50,000, and what percent is over $100,000? This is just for bachelors.
Ooh.
Wait.
Ooh.
Say again.
So, you have your students that take out loans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of those students that take out loans, what percentage of those students owe more than $50,000, and what percentage owe more than $100,000?
I'd say it's probably 90% owe over 100,000.
90%?
That's huge.
They owe 90%
of the people who take loans probably owe after they graduate
100,000 or more.
100,000. Okay, and then how many 50%? 50,000. Because remember, there's 50,000 and 100,000. Those two values.
So out of 100% total.
Yeah.
Oh,
so that'd be 10.
Okay, so I'd say probably I'm going to say 70 again for 100, and then 30 for the 50.
Okay, Johnson, you gotta.
I'm going to say 60 for 50 and 40 for 100.
Man, I'm glad I don't live in the United States that you guys live in.
Okay. That's
20% of students owe more than 50,000.
Then 80?
No.
Oh.
It doesn't have to add up to 100.
Oh.
It's out of the 100%. Okay. Well, thankfully, only 5.6% owe more than 100,000. Okay.
All right. Got it.
Now that being said, right, you have these loans, right?
Yeah.
40% of attendees at a 4-year university drop out before they complete their degree.
How many? Wait, what?
40%.
Wow.
So 40% of the people that start a degree at a 4-year university
drop out
before they ever finish their degree. But guess what? They still have that student loan debt to pay for now.
I wonder how many of them.
Awful.
I wonder how many of them actually turn around and go into the military.
I don't know. Should look that up.
That one I wasn't able to find about that one. But I mean, that is a ridiculous amount.
That's a big high dropout number.
Yep. So, like I said, if I had to do this over again, I would have gone to Gateway and just got my computer programming and computer whatever degree there, and then I still would have been able to do exactly what I'm doing now because 99% of what I learned was all self-taught.
Yeah. And now,
I'm not using my world history classes at all. I'm not using my English classes. I'm not using my psychology, my philosophy, my economics classes.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of the stuff from there.
No, granted, I could say some classes do help make you a little bit more aware of things. But like history, it's important to know history. You don't need to know it all, but it's important to don't shake your head no at me. You're lucky you have something expensive in front of you. I'd finish the power rate on you.
I mean, and I agree with that. It helps bring awareness of that. Mm-hmm. But it was something. So I was reading an article. It's from theatlantic.com. The article's called "What's College Good For?" It was an excerpt from this professor's book. He's a professor of history, actually. Or was it? No, I'm sorry, economics. Sorry, different person. Professor of history. I'm thinking of, but he was talking about some studies that was done and found that. That whole summer brain drain thing. Have you ever heard of that in school? It's a real thing. So, these students, they start their summer, they're finishing up school for the year and they've learned all this stuff. And then by the time summer's done, they start school again. They have forgotten everything they learned the previous year.
Well, I mean, at the same time, you're shoving all this information into your head and, it's so much to try to comprehend. I mean, I can't imagine, summer's like, all right, completely forget about school. Let's worry about having fun. Let's worry about making money. So, I mean, I can definitely see where that comes into it. And that's where some people would argue that we need year-round school.
I'm not paying for year-round college.
Well, instead of having, 3.5 months off, you have those 3.5 months broken up throughout the school year.
Okay,
I see that, but
let me ask this because this is I think it's something else that's different between like a 4-year degree and like the
2-year.
The program that you're going into. Okay, your instructors that you would have in this airplane mechanic class they probably have done this for a living at some point, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Usually most have.
Yeah. And Aaron, if you want to let's say go to like a music degree or something like that, most of your instructors would have done something with music in the past, correct?
I would hope so.
Well, yeah, you would hope so, but it's not a guarantee. Well, this article from The Atlantic, again, it's an excerpt from the guy's book. He makes a point, and his name is Brian Kaplan, but he makes a point that most of your instructors, like in a 4-year university, they've never been in their field that they're teaching. They just literally went to school, learned their field, learned it, and got a job teaching. And he said that was the case for him. He has never applied any of these things he's learned. They're just all theory to him. And you have that a lot in your 4-year degrees. Whereas in your degrees that you would go to, for airplane mechanic, you're learning from people who've actually done
Same thing with
the job.
Automotive too.
Well, like, let's say an apprenticeship, like an electrician. You're learning from an actual electrician, not from a book on this is how you electrician it's. It's you learn from the guy. Do not touch that wire. When this happens, you do this. That's better than any book can ever teach you.
Real life experience.
Especially when you touch the wrong wire and you're like, oh!
Yeah. So
See, yeah,
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
No, I was saying.
I'm just agreeing with. It's better to learn from someone that is actually doing something in their field, and you're getting that first hands-on experience, as opposed to just being told what to do by some guy that hasn't done anything.
And trust me, when you go to a school that's hands-on, you can immediately see when somebody has done it and when somebody hasn't done it. You can see it in the students and an instructor or two.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Can you?
Oh, trust me. I've seen it. It's really easy to see when somebody has just been taught it, read it in the books versus someone who's actually done it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when the student raises his hand and says, hey, I need you to help me take this apart, and you walk over there and go, all right, watch closely. Boom, it's pulled apart. It's different than somebody walking over and go, okay, you take this out, and then we got to get this socket, put it on this drill, and okay, now we're going to undrill. It's different. It comes second nature to somebody who's actually performed it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be kind of funny to go and, because when I was at Parkside for a little bit, one of the things I did was a drum class thing. It would be funny to have somebody that just knew a ton about drums.
Okay.
Try to explain you how to do stuff, as opposed to having the teacher who we had, Mr. Dave Bayless, and he actually obviously showed you how to play it and did a lot better than I did, obviously, because he's the teacher.
Yeah,
but it's like it's because then obviously, as from what you just said, Josh, it's noticeable as to someone who's been doing something either a long time or their whole life, or as opposed to either new to it kind of thing. Because when he was doing it wasn't even a double stroke roll. He was teaching us rolls, and he was blending in the hits, so it just sounded like one solid note, and that's something I still can't really do that well, because it just sounds like double hits just really quickly.
yeah.
Angry.
I'd say the other big thing versus 2-year and 4-year. I know this is geared towards more trade jobs.
Right.
Because trade jobs, blue-collar jobs,
Trade job.
there is a growing need for that. One of the ones is welding. Welding. There's all sorts of different types of welding out there, and that is needing more people to go in the field as well too. And besides you going, to a 2-year, you can go to 2-year, do technical stuff. You can do STEM stuff through a 2-year. But the advantage of going to a 2-year and having trade job is these schools can help you get plugged in with an apprenticeship. They can help you get plugged into the local businesses in the area. But at the same time, even though you might start with more and you might cap sooner in a sense than a 4-year.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how it works. Is you start with more money up front, but you cap off sooner. So Paul's cap in his position, I don't know. I'm just shooting it out there. It might be 150, or there might not be a cap because he can just rank up in the company. But he's going to start out with making a whole lot less, not only primarily because of your debt that you have to pay off.
Well, not even the debt. There's so many. At least when I was in Michigan, there were just so many people in the IT field out there that it was a hard competition where jobs didn't have to raise prices. Mm-hmm. Now, here in the Milwaukee market, it's a little bit different, where there's actually a shortage of IT people. Okay. So jobs are raising the rates a little bit. But when I started out, we had a flood of IT people, and they were able to keep and suppress their wages low. So when I started out working, I was making just above minimum wage. I don't remember what minimum wage was in 2007, but I don't know. But that's what I was making. Mm-hmm. And it took me a while to build that up, whereas if I came out with a vocational degree, welding or airplane mechanic or car mechanic, I probably would have started around $50K.
It's not that high. It's a little bit lower than that, but one advantage is you start working. You can start working while you're in school.
But I mean, most of them say the median for vocational stuff like that is around $50K. So I mean, it's like.
But the one advantage with trades job is, as there's more and more old guys and gals leaving the field, there's more demand, so the pay is going to go up. So not only are you going to start, having more money right away, your cap is going to slowly get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because there's less and less people going in.
Now, why do you think there is a shortage of trade workers? I'll just say trade workers to encompass all those things.
Yeah, blue collar. We'll just say kind of blue collar positions because of where we are in society right now.
Okay, explain.
This is
explain
not.
further
I'm not looking
than
anything up. Not looking anything up. But for me, knowing my history and stuff like that, we have more technological advances in the last 100 years than we did 1,000 years prior.
Okay, yeah, I agree we do. But I mean, why do you think though that more people? And I'll say this, like even like the people who are out in the sticks, who live out in Bumbletown, Wisconsin, who have no money. Why do you think they're more going towards the technical side of things versus the blue collar things? Why do we have more technical workers instead of blue collar workers?
Because to me, that's just where our society is right now. We have, You know, it used to be back in the day, you wake up, you have a mom and pop shop, dad's a farmer maybe, or you have a mom and pop shop. You wake up, you have to worry about what you're going to eat, you know, what you're going to cook, how you're going to prepare your meals,
Yeah,
kind of
you,
in the
you
house.
You've got to do the work thing.
We don't have to do that these days.
So what and honestly, what I think it is that, you know, I was reading some articles and I agree with this. And I was thinking the same beforehand. I didn't know what year it started, but now I know. So back in the 80s, it kind of became this thought that if you went for a blue collar job, you were low class. And that stigma kind of attached and stuck with it. Even to this day, for some people, you know, I was reading articles where these parents who were first, you know, the first in their families to go to college and get a degree, and they're making, you know, a couple $100,000 salaries each. Like at first they're disappointed because their son wanted to be a carpenter, you know, and they're like, well, why isn't our kid going to college and bettering himself? But that's what he enjoyed, you know? So there's still that stigma, I think, that's attached to it. And because there's such a big stigma, especially in the 80s, no one went for it. And now we're seeing the repercussions of it where older generations starting to retire and die
There's
off.
no one else to fill the spots.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think it's also, you know, this is where we're going. You know, robots are going to start replacing humans, right? And they already have.
One can dream.
So the old car assembly line was nothing but people. Now there's a few people and a lot of robots, a lot of arms, a lot of stuff doing the heavy lifting and the drilling and all this. So,
but I mean, that's manufacturing. You're probably not going to have a robot doing electrical wiring in your house.
no,
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. You know, so you know the trades like that.
but I mean, as of right now, they're already doing mass production of houses.
Yeah,
They're starting to do that, where the wiring and everything's already built in, and it literally, you put one wall to the next wall, and you fuse them together. Somehow they fuse them together.
and then what happens when a mouse gets in there and chews through a wire and you need to replace it?
You got to call the electrician.
Exactly.
Until
So-
in Paul's world, one day, a robot comes over and says, "Let me help you."
Now I'll just invent the nanobots from the Borg and have them reassemble the wire automatically.
But,
Oh my
but
goodness.
we are in a place to where technology is
Yep.
the future. It's the
It's-
future.
it's-
So
It's
I
not
think-
future, it's the present. It's happening
oh
now.
no, it's
Yeah.
still the future. There's more to come.
Oh yeah.
Well, of course there's more to come.
So I think another thing is, besides, you know, just I just learned about it too, the stigma of the 80s. I think it's also like, well, where do I want to be? Do I want to be doing something that could be replaced, or I want to be doing something that could be making the thing that's replacing?
Mhm.
So I think there's that mindset too of, you know, trying to stay ahead of the game and doing something that is going to be around a while still.
Yeah, and there's certain things that, you know, I was kind of being a little facetious earlier when I was saying like airplane mechanic, I'll build a robot to replace them. But, you know, you're going to need someone to make those human judgments. You know,
Oh, yeah.
There's some things that it's like, okay, this thing isn't working. According to the manual, everything should be fine, but it's still not functioning right.
right.
You got to troubleshoot. You know, computer can only go so far. Yes, we have AI that can lie to humans now and manipulate humans to do what they want. But I mean, they're not going to be able to analyze the wiring and be like, that wiring's a little too close, and that's what's causing the static in the headset. You know,
At the same time, you know, artificial intelligence doesn't have the ethnic and moral decision making that humans have.
yeah, because there's a whole thing about that. It's like if you have a car that's autonomously driving and there's a pedestrian in the crosswalk, but you hit the pedestrian to stop an accident, what do you do? And they haven't fully come out with that answer yet.
So that is something that's going to happen. If
Some
we
are
have-
saying you hit the pedestrian to stop the accident. Some are saying you stop the accident. You have the accident to save the pedestrian.
Well, I mean, semis are told that if there's suddenly a backup, if they hit the brake, they are responsible for whatever else happens after.
Mhm.
They're told to ram into the back of the car in front of them and then apply the brake. Because if they hit the brake prior to the accident, they are acknowledging that they had enough time to stop. And also, if they do it prior to the accident, there's a chance that, like Aaron was just doing the motion, the rear wheels on the trailer can lock up, it swings up. Now you got a 53-foot trailer rolling on the highway, crushing anything in its way.
Mhm.
So they say it's better to take out two cars than a whole lot
Fake
more.
news.
Or you did like that guy on the interstate did, and he went off the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a huge. I don't know if I have even would have thought of that, but he saved quite a few people by doing that.
And there's definitely still some jobs out there that definitely.
Oh yeah,
pay well.
These
pay
jobs
well.
play well together. There are jobs that require it. What I do does not require a 4-year degree. What Johnson does not require a 4-year degree. Although I can imagine he could have a 4-year degree and do his Velping still.
He could work higher up in the Velping world with a 4-year degree by buying out that Velping business.
Buying out. I am not buying that out anytime soon.
He would need a little more money. He needs a couple more accidents.
I would.
We can arrange that.
But no, you don't need that 4-year degree for everything. And when you look at it, how bad of a okay, and I hear this a lot right now, especially now that we're starting to gear up for the 2020 election stuff. You hear all these Democrat candidates come out saying, "Oh, let's do free college for everyone," or cancel everyone's student debt.
No.
Okay, because they're like, it's a big drain on the economy. Because instead of me spending a couple hundred on stuff in the economy, I'm spending on student loans.
But you're still, in a sense, stimulating the economy by going to college because you're putting money in other people's pockets.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation on why college is so expensive. But my question to you two, I want to see who gets the closest here.
Nope.
How much student debt is outstanding as of the end of 2018, according to the Federal Reserve? I'll give you a hint. It's more than $50 billion.
Oh, 132 billion.
Okay, Johnson, you got
I don't know, but I thought I saw something about 1 trillion.
You are close.
1.3?
$1.5 trillion in student debt is outstanding as of the end of 2018, according to the Federal Reserve.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
You know how you can make that a whole lot less?
Tell us.
Get rid of all the classes that you don't need.
Yeah, but guess what schools are not going to do? They're not going to get rid of that because guess why? They get paid per credit hour.
Yep.
But that's a whole... yeah.
Although I do like the whole, I'm totally for let's freeze everybody's student debt. Let's do it. Seriously, let's do it. Let's take all of the Democratic's bank accounts and use that to freeze all the money. Seriously, let's do it. Let's do it.
That's not even going to come.
Because it's not coming out of my paycheck.
Okay, first off, all their bank accounts are going to come close, okay? 2, if they get to push through their legislation that they want, guess how that money is going to get paid for those student debts? Our taxes are going to go up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
So it goes from being the Republicans want to raise taxes, and now the Democrats want to raise taxes.
Oh, they always want to raise taxes. But I'm saying if they get their way to whoever, Kamala Harris or whoever, this got political, and this isn't a political thing.
Yeah.
But I'm saying $1.5 trillion is a lot of money.
That's a crap ton
That
of
is.
money.
And believe it or not, I remember watching a documentary on the Discovery Channel.
Wow.
To fix America's infrastructure, it would cost them over $1 trillion. And that's, at the time, that was roads, bridges, railways, anything like that needed to be fixed. That was technically due for fixing. There are plenty of, bridges in the United States that are deemed unsafe, but you can't shut it down, and there's not the finances there to shut it down to build it.
But
it was in trillion.
Yeah, but we're talking 1.5 trillion in student debt outstanding. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money. Now,
And
all these people are like, well, let's cancel everyone's student debt. I'm like, I signed paperwork saying I'm responsible. Guess what? As much as it sucks, I'm responsible, and I'm continuing on my wonderful payments every month.
Well, I was going to say it is a user agreement. You decide to go to this school. You decide to take out these loans. It's your job to pay them back. It's not everybody else's job to pay them back.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. I guess you can't make everything free and yet still stimulate the economy.
They're going to try. But I mean, that's a lot of money coming out of the economy. And part of the reason that schooling, especially private schools, have gotten so expensive is you have all these easy access to loans. And so schools are like, well, let's just raise our rates. Students can get more money.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, what's the big difference from going to Parkside as opposed to a private school?
Okay.
Private school or vocational school like Gateway?
Okay, let's do all
Private.
all of them. Okay.
Or it was
So how much is your Parkside on average?
Gee, I don't know. I honestly don't remember.
Well, Google it up real quick.
I just shut it down.
Why did you shut your computer down?
I'm not looking at the notes anymore.
You have your phone to Google.
It's at like 10%.
Oh, you were crazy. Anyways, okay. The estimated tuition and fees,
You already got it.
okay, for Parkside is about
How-
$7,389.
That's a semester, right?
Yeah,
So okay, I was gonna say roughly 20,000 a year, but okay,
a little under.
yeah,
But that's pretty good, right?
yeah.
My school,
Oh boy. See, I'm gonna guess that was more like 40 to 50.
you want to guess how much it was a semester at my school? I went to Cornerstone University, a private Christian college in the middle of Grand Rapids, Michigan.
I want to say
And you just have to go to 1,000. I'll
I'll-
give you the 1,000. So I
I want
won't
to say 17 to 23.
give me within 1,000. Not a range of 6.
But I like that.
Nope. A range of
Fine, I'm
1,000.
just gonna do 20,000.
Okay.
Wait, a semester?
A semester.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yep.
20,000?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts for a private university per semester?
What was your university?
Cornerstone University, without looking it up,
I would say 23
per semester,
per semester.
17,000 per semester.
Dang it, that was my first guess. Why didn't you just
No.
leave me there?
Gateway, about 4,000.
Yep. For
Depending on how many classes you do a semester, yeah.
well,
That's
Well,
the big
it's,
thing.
it's
that's
your
a,
average.
12 credit.
well, yeah, that's assuming that because most universities and colleges, and I don't know, you correct me if I'm wrong. Gateway's the same way, but Cornerstone was like, if you take 12 to 18 credits, it's this much.
Okay.
You know, if you took 12 credits, it's the same amount. If you took 18 credits, it's the same amount.
Oh,
So how many?
I think Gateway is just kind of,
by class, I thought.
it's by class
Okay,
for Gateway. But just generally speaking, it's about $4,000. Now,
and that's assuming you're in state.
mhm,
Because
Yeah.
out of state, it's 6,000.
it's a little bit more. It's usually more for a lot of places.
Yeah. Something else I found interesting, and this might come into kind of that play, you know, where we were talking about how it's supposed to make you a well-rounded individual going to a 4-year degree. Back in like the 70s and 80s, it was expected that classwork and homework would consume about 40 hours a week.
Oof.
Okay. Nowadays, they're saying most students maybe spend 18 hours because they want to have leisure time. And so that might be part of the reason why also, you know, some of that well-roundedness, quote unquote, isn't
dying.
happening. It's dying, so to speak.
That makes a lot of sense.
So I just want to throw that out there as well. It's because I'm not trying to throw like 4-year universities fully under the bus. I'm just saying some of it's our culture and how we've changed as well and how people put priorities towards things.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, I one benefit to a 4-year is not benefit to a 4-year, but a benefit from a 4-year is some companies require you to have a bachelor's degree. Okay.
Yeah. And what's kind of intriguing,
Mhm.
especially in the IT world, this might be just a microverse thing. This might not be across the board. But in the IT world, when I started out, there were a lot of places required the 4-year degree. But now they're going and saying, or relevant experience. They're eliminating that 4-year degree requirement.
And there are places that are, and there are some places that aren't. And like you said before, about, 40% drop out.
Yeah.
And the one thing that a bachelor's degree can help show is one's determination.
Funny you say that.
So if a bachelor's degree has helped to eliminate people who, me, I don't know, maybe I would drop out, halfway through getting a bachelor's degree. Maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe I would get halfway through and go, holy cow, all this money, and I still don't know anything. And some people might push through. And I do know that is one thing. And one area that a bachelor's degree is still, in a sense, there's a firm foot on, is certain commercial airline companies still require you to have a bachelor's degree to do anything.
Fair enough.
So,
But I mean, funny, like I said, funny enough you say that. So again, back to the Atlantic article. Basically, I think this quote sums up. It's agreeing with what you're saying here. The labor market doesn't pay you for the useless subjects you master, aka world history, English, philosophy, psychology, and all that, outside of your degree. It pays you for the pre-existing traits you signal by mastering them. aka you're determined, you'll follow through, you're a good learner, and you'll be able to accomplish what's presented in front of you. So I found that kind of funny as well. Another thing that he brings up here is that the main effect of a 4-year degree is not better jobs or greater skill levels, but instead a credentials arm race, which I see as well, especially in the IT industry, where you need to have this credential, this credential, this credential, this credential. It's only getting worse because as all these people come in who have all these credentials as you, you're fighting against everyone else with the same credentials. So it's just some fun to think about there.
You know what else helps?
What?
Connection.
Yeah. Connections, honestly.
And relationships.
Honestly, for getting a job, connections are probably more important than your skill set.
Oh, yeah.
People always say it's who you know in that, and people kind of mock it, but it's true.
It's true.
Sometimes that really goes a long way.
Especially if it's an employee of a company that has a good standing. Well, shoot, if he performs well and he's telling me this guy might actually outperform him, then I'm probably going to take his word for it.
I'm not going to say anyone outperforms me, but I'll say they can perform well. Because if I say they outperform me, they're going to go, oh, we can cut you then.
Bye-bye job.
Yeah.
Well, no, because, like, I mean, especially in, I don't know, for as far as I've seen the whole music world, man, just even going, I'm not going to mention names, I guess, of the bands.
Okay.
But at the same time, I don't know if they have connections or not. But, like, you could have some super good, talented musicians that are trying to make it out somewhere. Then you can have some that are like, they're decent. They can play something that enough where people will enjoy it. The reason I say I think of Summerfest is because one of the bands that was, like, the opener for the opening acts of the headlining band.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 bands that played. Well, the first one did pretty well. I enjoyed them. Definitely for the most of it. The band that played after them, that was the last, I guess, show before the main event kind of thing. They were not good. So it's just like, I wonder if they had connections that somebody else didn't have, and that got them shoot in there to get to the better spot.
Yep.
Because, I mean, I don't know. And even like in Nashville, I've had a relative who's been there for work, and he's talking about how like some of these people have been trying to get into places for years just to play a venue, and then hope to find somebody in there watching them that can help push them to the next step. Because it's those connections and relationships that you make that will hopefully, if you're good, excel you on to the next bigger thing and to improve your skills.
Yeah.
Everywhere else. So that's. I mean, I guess like you're trying to think of like, if for like my boss, I don't know, he knows I'm a musician,
right?
And he knows a lot of people, so it's like having it doesn't have to be related to what you're, I guess, going for. But if you know somebody high and mighty somewhere, they probably know someone high and mighty in something that you are interested in, and then you connect, and then boom.
Well, there's that whole thing of 6
Magic
degrees of
happens.
separation, where you're always 6 degrees separated from someone else.
Mm.
You know, you've heard of that, right?
No. Not heard of that.
It started out as kind of like a joke thing because Kevin Bacon was in all these films, and they're like, and there's this whole 6 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon where you would name one movie star and name Kevin Bacon, and you'd figure out how you could get back to Kevin Bacon from that movie star through people they know. And some psychologists and psychiatrists and a bunch of other people and sociologists, they decided to do a study, and they found that most people are within 6 connections of one another. You know someone who knows someone who knows President Trump. You know someone who knows someone who knows someone who. Well, I'm not just saying but I'm saying like no.
Yes.
You know someone that knows someone that knows someone that knows AOC. You know someone that knows someone that knows someone that knows someone that knows Arnold Schwarzenegger. So there's that 6 degrees of separation, and it's kind of crazy to think. I probably do know someone that can introduce me. I just maybe haven't taken advantage of that yet.
That is wild.
You know what else?
Think about.
You know what else helps though, as well, besides connections? Money.
Money talks.
Yep.
Hey.
So I'm thinking, and I had to Google this to make sure I was correct on this, and I was correct. So remember that wonderful song came on like 2010, 2011 area called Friday?
Yeah.
That was that long ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but you remember that, right?
Oh,
Rebecca Black.
7 years,
But do you know how that came about?
a lot of money.
Came out because of money.
I thought it was because her dad
It,
had money.
it said her mom
Oh,
paid
okay.
$4,000 to this company, and they wrote the song. They made the video,
She just went and sang it.
and she got famous off of it. And so the doors are open for her
Ugh.
just because of money. Her parents were able to say, "Here, I'm going to throw money at this," and made that
So-
job happen for her.
Aaron,
I
How about that other accent?
Well, I don't even need that.
Well, okay,
I'll just.
it was only $4,000 for her to do that video that launched her
I don't
career.
want to know how much.
where's she
made
now
off
in
of
her
that.
career?
Probably nowhere. Well, sure, she's somewhere, but I don't know.
See, she's a YouTube star.
Yeah.
I put that in quotes. She's also a 4G. She was brought to Australia by Telstra to promote the launch of their 4G service.
Wow.
But she is releasing original songs now as well.
Yeah, she is. That she is.
Yep. So she just apparently. So apparently she had a single back in, or not a single, EP back in 2018.
Really? Well, I have
So-
not listened to that.
So
Yeah. Because for the first, she got recognized real quick, but I would not say it was in a good way, at least from the majority.
Oh yeah, I
of it.
know. People were just kind of like mocking.
It was a bad kind of famous.
Yeah. But apparently, and I'm looking at this, she's released 2 more singles in 2019. So, I mean, she's still making music out there.
That's cool.
And that all started with her parents paying $4,000 to open that door for her.
Man, what can I
But-
do with my money?
But she made zero money on that song because the company that they paid retained ownership of both the video and the master of the music.
That's where she got screwed over.
Well, okay.
In a sense.
They wrote the song. They wrote all the lyrics,
Yeah.
all the instrumentation.
Oh yeah, they get that.
She got a career out of it.
She
So-
did.
And she gets to be a celebrity, person that goes and says, "Join this phone company in Australia."
So, drag racing.
What? Okay, let me ask this question. What does Aaron Johnson have in common with Rebecca Black?
Oh no! Why would you say that? Music?
Besides music.
Oh gosh.
Money?
I like to have fun.
I don't know.
Oh, that hurt me a little.
Yeah, I know. But anyways, what do you have in common? What do you have in common?
I don't know.
You both didn't graduate from college.
I guess I should have just figured that based on the topic. But
Yeah.
I
I
There
was trying to bring it back to the topic since
thanks.
but I mean, again, another person who's a quote unquote YouTube star who's able to make money and you talk to people who do that on YouTube, it's not easy. There's
There's a lot of work that goes into that.
yeah, that's a 50 to 60 hour a week job
Yeah.
minimum. And you're working 7 days a week and you're not guaranteed to make money.
Yeah.
Because if you say one thing that like YouTube doesn't like or something like that, you are
Demonetized.
you're demonetized or you're kicked out of their partner platform completely.
Right.
That's why a lot of people are switching over to Patreon or advertisements of other companies and stuff.
Twitch is becoming a big thing too.
Twitch has been a big thing for a while.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all those things, but they still have a lot of money to work with. You even see like one of the guys I follow, two of the guys. One's named Ryukar. The other guy's Grand Pooh Bear. They play video games. They basically play Mario Maker for a living.
Hey.
But they're streaming like 80 hours a week. It's ridiculous.
That's a lot of hours.
They're up from sun up to sundown 7 days a week, and they may or may not make money.
That is a crazy thing.
It also kind of depends on what you do.
Well,
And
I mean, just
what you're
depends on
plugged
how-
into and
how
how to
likable
make
you are.
money. And yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there are ways. What I'm trying to get at is there are ways other than a full college career,
Oh, yeah.
where you
to
can
make that money. Again, whether it be being a developer like Mr. Johnson, going to school to be an airplane mechanic like Mr. Brewer, or whatever else he wants to go be when he grows up and gets married and has kids.
Oh,
I want to be a Velprist.
What?
A Velprist? What's a
He
Velprist?
is a female.
I don't know. I just said that.
Is that a female Velper?
I don't know. Maybe
It is
Aaron.
now.
Aaron would know.
It is now.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Get-
let Chris.
Let
The
Chris
boss
know
know.
that so it can get on your official website.
All right.
Like Brewer was saying, that's still good money, even without a 4-year degree.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I think another thing is, budgeting. I think it's a big deal. What was it?
We're not even talking budgeting because I'm just talking raw money coming in.
You don't have to have a 4-year degree to have
Well,
a
to make
good
a
life.
living.
Yeah. They have
No.
There's that. I mean, obviously, it's depending on what you want to do in life. It's just for how much you make, better budget yourself so you're not
Yeah, and
going under.
and that's a whole other.
That
Yeah.
is.
That's a whole other conversation. I'm just talking about
Yeah.
raw money coming in. I'm not talking about have you done your budgeting for the month or the week or the
No.
day. Depending on how nitty gritty you want to get with that.
The nitty gritty.
Yeah. What percentage of people who graduated with a 4-year degree said college was not worth it?
Um.
a lot of people.
Percentage wise, please, out of 100.
I know 100.
Out of 100%.
I want to say
60.
I'm more 45.
You must have read the article. 45%.
Oh.
I did not.
So that's a lot.
That is about half of the people.
That
Don't
college
think it's
wasn't worth
worth
it.
You're one of those.
Yeah, I am. I am. And I will shout that from the rooftops. Especially now the colleges always ask me, could you donate to make a student life better at Cornerstone? Like, you already got my money. You don't need more.
For real.
How many millions of people owed 137 billion in debt that's in default? How many million people owe that much money? Have 137 billion in default, meaning that they have not made a payment in the last 270 days on their loan.
Ooh.
How many?
How many million?
Out of
Just
The world or the U.S.?
U.S.
How many people live in the U.S. now?
I don't know.
so there's like
More-
340?
More than this number?
Well, I hope so. Shoot. I thought we were. How high are we?
I'm not asking for a percentage. I'm just asking how many million.
Yeah. Well, kind of how many million?
I'm going to say 20 million.
Johnson?
It's all down to you, man.
Yeah.
You can do
I
it.
was gonna say 125.
125 million?
Dude, we've got over 300 million.
I'm not
people
asking.
in the
I'm not
country.
asking how many people are paying that 137 billion in debt.
Wait, yeah, how many people aren't?
How many people are in default? How many people have 137 billion student loan that's in default?
I'll bring it down to 60.
I'm glad I don't live in your guys' America.
It's really that little?
8 million.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah, that is good. So, but still, that's 8 million people who have not paid on their student loan in like 270 days.
Oh, dude.
That's
That's
I know how we pay for $1 trillion, freeze $1 trillion student debt.
Yeah.
Make the 8 million people who aren't paying pay. Boom. Done. That and the Democrats. Done.
Oh my
And the socialists.
I'm glad you're never running for public office now.
I should have run. Make
No.
the other guy pay for it.
Nope. At that
Don't know
point,
if
at
you
that
get my
point,
vote.
at that point, I would have to release the unreleasable tapes.
Oh no! Yeah, you're never gonna see the light of day with that.
Unless you run for office. No, I'm just kidding. Those still will not see the light of day.
Dang it!
What percentage of taxi drivers in the U.S. have bachelor degrees?
Oh, I'm gonna call 35%. No, I'm gonna call 20%.
Okay,
Because
Johnson.
there are definitely people who go to school and then come out doing nothing what they went to school for.
Yep.
Lovely. Gosh, 20 is a good one. 12. I'm just gonna go a little higher and say 25.
Whoa. Who's right?
Probably you.
15%.
Yep. That was gonna be my first guess, son of a gun. That seemed too low, but that was right. Son of a
And
gun.
that
With your instincts.
that's quite a bit.
That's still a decent amount.
So, as of 2008, how many million college graduates were in positions that did not require a college education? This statistic apparently hasn't been updated in a while, but it's as of
In 2008?
Yep.
How many college grads were in a position that did not need what they went to school for?
Well, no, that did not require a college degree, period. How many million?
So how many people were working at McDonald's?
Well, they give example of not McDonald's necessarily. They're talking about parking lot attendants, bartenders, janitors, taxi drivers.
How many?
How many million?
I'm going to say 17.
I'm going to say 5.
17 million.
You're freaking joking.
Yeah, I just kind of went with it.
Okay. And this is 1 in X number of college graduates had a job that required a high school diploma or less in 2012. What's the X? 1 in X college graduates had a job that required a high school diploma or less in 2012. What is the X?
1 in college grads at a high school diploma or less.
1 in X college graduates has a job that requires a high school diploma or less.
1 out of 80.
Johnson?
1 out of 50.
I wish the statistics were that good.
What? We're all over the place.
1 in 3 college graduates have a job that require a high school diploma or less.
Wait. Oh.
Well, I mean, I guess I mean that makes sense. You're working part-time jobs. You do a lot of part-time jobs. Don't require you to have. They just want you there to perform a task.
But we're talking people who have graduated.
Now, are we talking
with their 4-year degree?
I know. Are we talking how far? Are we talking right after they graduate? 3 years after?
They're not distinguishing between
because I can see them continuing their part-time job while they're looking for their full-time career position. So I can see that actually being the case. Now, if you're talking 3 years down the road, that's bad.
Yeah,
you're bad.
No wonder that debt ain't getting paid anytime soon.
Well, okay. To be fair, a lot of places, before you graduate, especially like if you're going to a your internship in that should lead to typically some sort of job.
Unless you done screw up.
Yeah, unless you done screw up. But I'm saying, if you're a year out and you're not able to find something in your degree because your degree is underwater basket weaving, well, is that the economy's fault or your fault for picking that bad degree?
It's true. Although weaving underwater would be kind of cool.
We know what 4-year degree Josh would be going for now.
No, if anything, I'd be trying to go for, if I went for a 4-year degree, it would be building underwater.
All right.
Dude, I mean, seriously. You seen the movies where we have these cities underwater? That is going to happen one day.
Sure, let's say yes.
What are you talking about? It already happens.
Yeah, that water pressure, though, thing is going to be a problem. And you get a leak underwater, you're in trouble. Okay, I got one last question for you both here.
Uh-oh.
Nope.
Okay. Actually, 2. Sorry.
Oh, no.
How many million student loan borrowers are aged 50 or over, as in they are a cosigner maybe for their kid or grandkid? And they are responsible for that loan debt. How many million?
I'm just going to tell my kids, go to Uncle Johnson.
So how many?
I'm going to say 25.
25 million? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, he's got to stand for this one.
75 million.
I'm glad I don't live in your guys' America again.
Really? Is that low?
Okay, good.
6.9 million.
Oh, that's it?
Yep.
See, I figured that'd be Never mind. I'm not going to say it.
Of the 6.9 million, how many are more than 90 days delinquent in payment?
4%.
4%?
I'm going to say 60%. No, just kidding.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
Of the 6.9 million, that are parents aged 50 or over or grandparents or whatever.
13%.
How many? Yeah, so of the 6.9, what percentage is delinquent?
I
of 90 days?
12%.
You're doing 12%?
12%.
It's 24.7%.
I win.
Okay. Here, and this isn't a question. This is just a weird statistic. Almost 119,000 of those borrowers are in default and have a part of their Social Security payments garnished by the U.S. government to pay those loans.
Oh.
Wait, so that means they're taking
money out of their Social Security checks that they would get every month.
The old people?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because when you co-sign like that, if the student defaults, then they go after the cosigner, aka the grandma or grandpa or mom or dad.
Graham.
So
No.
like I have a cosigned student loan. If I stopped paying on it, they would go after my mom for the money.
Your poor mother.
Just do it. See, this is why she likes Josh and not me.
No, she likes Josh's rants,
Yeah, it's true.
which I don't get.
I don't get either.
But
Okay, let's just leave it at that.
but then again, I think of my family. My family's a very ranty family, so she must think he's Mexican or something. But he's completely opposite of that. He's the whitest of whites.
But if she wants to be Mexican, I can be Mexican. It's a free country.
So you're transracial now?
Yeah.
Am I racial to begin with?
Is that everything?
Unless you two have anything else you want to interject there.
The only thing I really got to say is who needs school, just stay at home, work local with local businesses.
Live off your parents, don't pay rents,
Yeah.
pay your phone bill and your Netflix bill, which is important.
Yeah.
Eat your parents' food, play video games.
Why-
Wait till you're 40 before you go out to have a date.
Wow. So,
Man, you know what? I'm kidding.
so you just roasted Aaron. Okay.
No, I saw something and it was talking about millennials and the most important thing to pay for is their phone bill and Netflix.
That's what.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, if their phone gets cut off, the world doesn't exist. So,
Yes.
Yeah, for real.
so you're describing the modern 40-year-old virgin is Aaron. Got it.
I'm not 40 yet. I
I
still
didn't
got a
talk
ways
about there
away.
being Skyrim and Dark Souls involved.
This is true. Anyways, Mr. Johnson, do you have
JK.
anything to add else besides your bad advice for kids?
School is cool, yo.
But does it have to be a 4-year?
No. You do
Yes.
whatever you deem necessary to do what you want to do. But you know what? It doesn't really matter because, you know, if we're all going to go storm Area 51. we're gonna
Oh my
find
goodness.
aliens,
No, we're not.
and we're going to...
The government has actually issued a warning about people being idiots about that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Which totally exposes the fact that Area 51 is real.
Oh my goodness. No. We are not delving into that one right now.
No.
That will
All
be
I'm
for
saying-
another episode.
Yeah, we
All
got to
I'm
save that
saying-
one for September because it's happening in September.
How about we do that on Sunday so we have it in the bank?
Oh.
Make it more recent, seeing how many more people go. All I'm saying
Anyways.
is literally what they're going to do is they're going to put one guy at the
Okay.
gate.
Okay. Cutting it. Josh, do you have anything else to add besides Area 51?
Yeah.
What was the cut for?
Because you were going off
You're
on
about
Area
to-
51. I was like, I don't need
I
an
was
hour.
literally
I don't
gonna
need
say
an
a
hour of
10-second spiel.
I don't need an hour of Area
10,
51.
10 seconds. What? So what's next?
Oh,
Is there anything to say about school?
no.
Oh. Josh doesn't believe in school.
Okay, so
I
Josh
I
is
believe in learning what you need to learn to do what you want to do in life.
So you need to go to school for that.
You
So-
don't need to go to school.
so Josh is going to be an unschooled parent.
An unschooled parent?
An unschooled parent.
That's what I'm going to be pretty much, as far as I know.
If you have kids.
Don't hurt. Yeah, I'm not going to have those.
Yeah. As far as what I have left here, the comment wise, if what you want to go to for schooling requires a 4-year, 8-year, 20-year, 30-year degree, you know, be sure of that before you go. You know, make sure it's a field that actually requires it. If you're thinking about IT, it doesn't require it.
Or
You know,
Velpert.
or Velpert, yes. But I think Velpert's probably only in Racine area. Unless you guys have plants other areas. But, you know, going to school for a blue-collar job, a.k.a. like an electrician or a mechanic, airplane mechanic, car mechanic, whatever, that there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it'll save you money. You know, you're not paying $100,000+ in student loans potentially to be able to attend a school. Yeah, you might earn a lot more money in the long run. It's, you know, estimates say about 75% more, but that's not always the thing. Life isn't always about money.
No.
Sometimes it's about the experiences you have along the way, the interactions and everything else. And sometimes those jobs that you have the quote unquote higher education for, they require so much attention, so much time away that they're not worth it in the end. Where you're getting paid all this money, but to spend 24/7 at that job. And that's at times just not worth it. You got to find balance in all things, including work.
Way to bring morals into it all of a sudden.
I'm not bringing morals into it. I'm just saying you got to find balance in all things. And even if that means you earn a little less money so you can have better time with family, friends, your relationships, that is way more valuable than any amount of money you'll ever get. And Johnson's over here saying not true. You have the money. So this is Johnson. Aaron's going to go run into a semi now.
Deuces, Mom. I love you.
But so I'll say that. Now, the other thing is, I have a feeling, at least I'm going to be on a recast episode in shortly. And if Josh would want to join in, because I think that episode would be right up his alley, we'll find that out. But we'll have to discuss about that one coming up soon here.
Yeah, I did listen to Reapcast.
Yeah?
Entertaining. It's interesting.
Yeah, I finally listened to the...
Did you listen to the Mosh Pit one?
Yeah, if church was more like a mosh pit. And yeah, I have some interesting takeaways from that one.
Yeah, same.
And Clay has invited us to be on that one episode, and he actually wants to join us for an episode on should the voting age be lowered to 16 or not.
Oh, boy.
So,
oh, boy. Okay.
That means you two need to be on your game for that one.
We'll probably do a series of politics.
Well, yeah.
I will be out on those.
Well,
no, you won't.
I will have a sub.
The 16 one isn't necessarily so much a politics one.
No, it's just...
I'm not going to let it go too crazy on the politics side, but
I don't like that.
Going into that politic territory, that's fine, just not deep into it. But so yeah, if you haven't checked out Reapcast, look that up on wherever you get your podcast from. Enjoy it. Go listen to it. I know he's going to be recording a couple here coming up, and hopefully we'll be joining him for one of them. And I will for sure, and I'm going to try to get Brewer along with me on it as well, as Brewer packs up while I'm trying to do an outro here.
I want to go too, but I'm being patient.
What are you talking about? You shut down your computer 30 minutes before we started this.
Okay, there's a difference between shutting down your computer and starting to pack your bag. But that being said, unless you guys got anything else, I think we're going to call it here.
Goodbye.
Yeah, okay, we're going to...
And good night.
Hey, Johnson.
Dark Souls, what?
Did you just say Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Why Dark Souls?
Because that's what I'm going to play.